Texans at Titans, Week 13. You guys know what happened last time. 57-14. Well, that ain't gonna happen again because Watson's out, Watt is out, and Merciless is out. So, yeah, it kind of sucks. But anyways, let's get into this. Let's start off with their rushing offense versus our rushing defense, and I do think the Titans do have the tools to have a great rushing attack, but they've been underperforming all season long, and the Texans, the one bright spot they've had all season besides DeAndre Hopkins and Clowney, of course, has been their rushing defense. Besides week 1, of course, that was atrocious, but that one doesn't count. Well, it does, but whatever. Texans rushing defense has been good all season long, and I expect them to completely contain DeMarco Murray and Derrick Henry throughout the whole game. And I don't really expect the Titans to get any run game going unless it comes from Mariota. And if you're a Texans fan, I'm pretty sure you already know these Texans struggle containing scrambling QBs. I mean, they struggled last week with Joe Flacco, and I mean, that's Joe Flacco. So, yeah, might be a little tough containing Mariota if he starts scrambling around. Pass defense wise versus their passing offense. And Clowney's really our only pass rusher. I'm not sure if he's going to be able to get some pass rush going. It's going to be tough, but it's possible. And I don't feel like the Titans have any real threats, passing wise, receiving wise, that can really expose this terrible Texans secondary. I really don't. I believe that Joseph can shut down any of the receivers. I believe Johnson and Jackson can too. I don't think their receivers are all that talented, and I don't really expect their offense to really do much against this Texans defense in general. And again, with the Titans, it starts with the run game. If the run game isn't there, then they struggle, because the Titans, like the Texans in the Gary Kubiak era, their run, pass. That's their formula, and if they can't run, well, they struggle. And they've struggled all season long, and I feel like they'll continue to struggle against this Texans defense, who isn't really all that good if we're being realistic. And if you watch them play, you know that the Texans defense isn't all that good. But enough about this matchup. Let's move on to the Texans offense versus the Titans defense. The Titans have one of the best rushing defenses, and last week the Texans played one of the worst rushing defenses, and they couldn't get anything going. The offensive line couldn't get enough push up front, and honestly, I see more of the same happening in this game. I believe that Gerald Casey's gonna destroy Suafila all game. I feel like Morgan's gonna give Breno Giacomini some fits all game. I don't really think there'll be any run game to be had against the Titans. And if Lamar Miller played like he played against Baltimore, then there'll definitely be no run game going. So that's pretty much all I really have for that matchup, because I really do not see the Texans being capable of getting a run game going against the Titans. I really don't. Passing wise, the Ravens last week had the number one defense, or number one passing defense in the league, and you saw what Tom Savage and DeAndre Hopkins did to them. They just shredded them apart. Besides those 2 picks that Savage threw, he shredded them apart. And this Titans secondary does not compare at all versus that Ravens secondary, or even the Cardinals secondary, who, again, Savage and DeAndre Hopkins shredded apart. Hopkins is just an unstoppable force this year, and Adoree Jackson, Logan Ryan, and Sean Sims, Bryce McCain, they cannot stop Hopkins. Hopkins is going to have a field day against these guys. I see DeAndre Hopkins just putting up another huge game, man. To make things worse, pretty sure Will Fuller plays his game. So it's going to make things a lot worse for this Titans secondary, who have nobody that can cover either Will Fuller or DeAndre Hopkins, and even Bruce Ellington for that matter. They literally have no one that can cover them. So I feel like the Texans can easily exploit that matchup. I really do. And that's really all I have for the matchups. They're pretty simple and straightforward. Really, there's not really much complications to them. I do feel like the Titans are gonna come out a little bit more pissed because of the whole 57-14 whooping we put on them over there in Houston. So maybe they come out pissed and do something. But the final score, I say 21-20, Houston wins. I just feel like Hopkins and Fuller are going to be too much for this weak Titans secondary. I feel like Savage has performed well against two better secondaries than the Titans, and he'll be able to do it against the Titans. And I feel like Savage, for once, is going to have a clean game. I don't think he fumbles the ball, and I don't think he throws interceptions. So 21-20, the Texans squeeze by and upset the Titans, making their path to winning the division a lot harder than it needs to be. So with that being said, guys, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll catch you guys later. Peace.